Good evening, and welcome to the Fortean Slip Midnight Rendezvous. I don't know what fucking episode it is, but it's a special edition. Because tonight, we are joined by Canadian Fred Dunn and Oklahoma native Matt Knapp. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And as always,
Good to be here.
Skyla Valley. And her.
Also an Okie.
Originally, but you live in Florida, that fucking fucked up state.
Fuck you, I'm an Okie.
What was that thing you posted the other day, Matt? About people from Florida?
Everyone in Florida is stupid.
Ah, yeah, that one.
How do you think I have material week after week for my show? I mean, it's just there.
But I thought with
that one was specifically directed towards certain famous people who have, girl names but are actually guys.
Oh, I can't imagine who you're talking about.
No clue.
Not even a fucking inkling on that one, Matt.
Tracy Green.
Oh.
Green because he likes alligator arms.
Tracy?
Right?
Tracy?
Tracy Green.
But I thought with the current political climate in the United States, this lovely country that we live in, well...
Sorry to interrupt. I think I just got that last joke.
Oh, my God. Okay, was it you or your brother that had a delayed response?
I ate paint chips, too, though, so... In all defense... Yeah.
So I
Sorry, Chris.
No, not a problem. It's expected on this show.
Yep.
But I thought with the current political climate and the remarks that have been made by Donald Trump and the debate that's gone on about immigration, it'd be a good time to talk about a couple of movie/TV show/movie that I kind of enjoyed that addresses the same type of issues. Which would be one of my favorite growing up was Alien Nation. That fucking show.
Yep.
Was I'd never seen the movie when I was young. I actually watched it later in life. And
I think I'm with you as well. My dad was a big fan and introduced it to me I think almost a decade after it originally came out.
Yeah. And at the time it was it was a sci-fi show, so I thought it was fucking great. It was all about this spaceship of aliens that winds up fucking crash landing. Where was it? Like San Francisco, I think.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, somewhere around there. In fucking California.
Yeah, it was definitely California.
It was the desert.
Yeah, somewhere. So, these strange aliens fucking show up here. They get drunk off sour milk. They can get fucked up off like dish detergent.
Yep.
And they have babies in 4 months.
And like the guys carry them, and like another guy fucks your wife. It was really weird shit. But
yeah,
that does sound like Los Angeles, though.
It kind of does.
They fit in pretty well, right?
Yeah, everybody does in that case. But. This ship of beings, whatever they were a slave race. They were like they weren't a slave race, but they were slaves. And there were some of them that were like fucking the slave masters or anyway. So obviously this was a way for them to address race issues of racism and issues of race without like addressing issues of race at the time, because we all know as we were growing up, like, it was tepid for a while.
Yeah, isn't that the whole premise of X-Men?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff, people had to go about talking about it using innuendo and metaphor and story. It just seems really weird to me. But, at the time, cool show. I didn't even think of it that way. But in retrospect, it's all about this, idea of these people, being stranded here and us having to accept them into our culture. And like I said, the when I went back and watched the movie with Mandy Patinkin, I think it is, plays the alien, And James Caan, who doesn't love
he was
fucking
awesome.
James Caan? As the old badass fucking cop. You know goddamn well he couldn't have done anything at that point that he did in that movie.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's all over the place.
But, it definitely addressed those issues of how do you accept these people into your culture and how do you acclimate them and then police them because they're different from you. And in this case, different on a level that's like fucking, it's not just like, hey, we're both human beings, but, you're different. This is like, these people were stronger. They, could do more than what we could do.
Well, in all fairness, too, like, I mean, a lot, like, speaking from experience, like, when writing, the people that would do the screenplay, when you're trying to add that touch of realism so it relates to the people, you want to use, like, sources that are close or similar. So no doubt, like, the writers maybe probably looked into that, the actual racist type scenarios and use that as a way. I don't know if it's a conscious effort that the people do, or it's one of those things where it's just ingrained in us. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and
we always like back.
Well, if you look at how Alien Nation was portrayed, it was portrayed like hey, we accepted these fucking aliens into our culture. Well, then you flash forward, to the 2000s. When District 9 comes out, and this movie's all about like segregating these fucking aliens and keeping them away from us.
A much more realistic view of how it would potentially be approached, I guess, at least in this modern age. You'd want to quarantine those fuckers, find out if they got any like space worm disease.
I don't want them fucking lobster-looking fucking things coming at me.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm like in Alien Nation, it was so like that 80s, 90s feel too. I'm pretty sure, didn't they like have sex with the aliens too? And like there were some that were hookers and stuff, and like men could go pay to like see the aliens and experience their intimate relations or whatnot.
Oh yeah, there was definitely that shit going on.
Yeah. And that's the thing. All those aliens still look kind of human, whereas in District 9, I really like that insectoid type look.
Well, in District 9, it's still a representation of something that really took place. How do you pronounce that?
Apartheid.
Apartheid.
In that country.
6, that's what it represents, is what happened in 6.
Right, and it was definitely a statement about racism and that segregation and all that shit. And these movies definitely were addressing those issues. And District 9 in more of a blunt way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, District 9 was like in your face. We fucking hate these goddamn things. Like everybody was just pissed off at them. Great movie.
Gross too. Yeah, and like what happened to the main character throughout that movie, like seeing his transformation from a human and like his whole story, like terrifying but interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know how, if that was to actually happen, if we actually had a spaceship fucking land somewhere full of fucking aliens and they're stranded here, like how that would fucking work.
The best case scenario for us is the situation like you just said. Like we'd want to hope that they were in a position where they would need help, because if they're coming in a position of power, they may be the ones dictating shit.
Then wind up.
Well, if they're able to... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if they had the technology to actually make it to our planet, they probably will be the ones telling us what to do.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. But like in that case, like the way it looked in District 9, it was almost like it was a scout ship of some kind, or you know what I mean, an offshoot. And that's the thing. Like if any alien comes to make contact with us in strong armed form, like I mean, it's going to be pretty. It could potentially be very rough. I mean, and then again, we might not even know. Like we're just going from that whole humanoid alien look. Like
I don't know. I think it would be more like the spider finds the anthill. Like they're not going to be able to overcome the entire planet with one spaceship. They better bring a whole fleet.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, if it's a one-off, then it's good.
Listen, right now, this is exactly the point. Even right now, we're debating about fighting these things.
Already.
We're already racist against them. Those sons of bitches better not come here with a problem.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Hey, fuck you. We got enough shit. Oh, you got a cure for cancer? Okay, wait, come on over. Just a sec.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Probably the first thing we would do
then you
is
see
figure out how we can use them.
Well,
yeah.
That sure would be the fastest way to get rid of racism. Everybody would be too busy worried about the aliens than the difference between each other.
Well, a lot of people have said that if aliens showed up, like actually showed up, like fucking in force, that it would globalize the world instantly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I believe
but
that.
if they're going to show up in force like that, they got to be like aliens. No, I'm not even just saying physically like us, but similar in that. That sounds like something we would do, like show up and fucking, hey, we're here. But who knows? Like maybe it's the case where aliens are just so far beyond us that like they won't come here because they're like, fuck, I've heard of slumming, but that's too much. You know, like who knows? Like.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just observing us like watching ants in the ant farm.
Maybe it's like what Fred and I put together for the Fortean Strip this week.
Good luck.
Check that out at theforteanslip.blogspot.com. Yeah.
Or maybe they're a bunch of knuckle-dragging cave livers that can't get off the ground. And they're like actually eons behind us. We don't know.
No, and it's awesome. Like, I mean, then you go into all the types of potential life. I mean, like scientists theorize if there's a planet that has a different chemical composition, like the life forms developed on that world would be different. And I mean, how different? Who knows? Like to us, I couldn't imagine a crystalline being, but I guess potentially that could be something. But then again, I'm so...
You're a fan of the Joe Rogan podcast, right, Fred?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and Joe's even brought up the idea that, what if aliens are, what if we can't sense them? What if they're made of something that we can't see? Or they're like a fart? Right. We can smell them, but, we know they're there. That's all kinds of interesting. Like, what kind of life is out there? What is it that we would find? Or what is it that would show up? And I think the funny thing is that we always go to this humanoid structure of a fucking being, whereas it probably wouldn't be that way.
And we always stick to our definitions of things. I mean, what we consider life, the rules that we have to determine what's living, doesn't necessarily make it true across the board.
Right.
Well, we live in a 3-dimensional world. What if they're 4-dimensional? Could be totally different.
And what if they're 2-dimensional? What if they're like Mario?
Like paper people.
What if they just like slide across a screen and jump on a flagpole?
Well,
that could happen.
I don't think they'd make it to Earth, but...
And they're a plumber.
They could be somewhere on another planet jumping down pipes. Who knows?
Yeah. Laying pipe. Sorry,
I did that a little earlier, Fred.
Yeah, there you go. Good for you. But no, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, aliens in general, it's kind of fascinating, and it is awesome to speculate. But another thing that would be kind of dark and almost as creepy is if to find out that there are none. Like, I know there's no way we can even potentially approach answering that. Like, but what if there isn't? What if this is it? What if we are the only thing out there, and eventually the aliens are going to be us because we're obviously going to go off planet and try to find other planets, and or again, what if it's some sort of Battlestar Galactica?
And what would happen if, let's say, we fucking take off on a fucking spaceship and landed on an alien world, and we were the fucking refugees?
Yeah, these are the voyages of the Star Trek Enterprise.
There you go.
It's 5-year mission. To seek out new life.
But seriously, okay, so let's say they do crash land here for whatever reason. They're here in the need of assistance. We finally develop a way to communicate with them. We learn this. I mean, what do you do?
Well, that's it. Like, what's their moral structure? What's their, like, I mean, could we even, fathomably
Could we even
like,
coexist with them?
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if we could communicate with them, what if we don't have anything that would be of a threat to them? What makes them live by our rules, our laws, and follow our system of things? If they were to take over California all of a sudden, like Alien Nation, California's in a huge water drought. Do they have the extra water to start giving aliens? I mean, is it like you start running into those problems because, we are forced to look at things like that, like how much food is there? How much medicine is there? Do we have enough to go around for everybody? And now here's these aliens that aren't our responsibility, but they've crashed here. So now they are.
And they're eligible for Obamacare.
Only
if they have an anchor baby.
Why don't we just go there? Fucking, and I hate to ever make this show political in any way, but I have been so fucking amused lately by the spectacle that is Donald Trump and the shit that comes out of his mouth. And it is kind of what, spurred this show, the idea of what I wanted to do for this show. He said some pretty fucking crazy shit. Like, I'm going to become president, we're just going to deport everybody and bring them back into the country legally.
Deport 11 million people and bring the good ones back.
Yeah, we're going to get rid of all the bad ones and just bring the good ones back. Like, really, Don? Can we do that? Is that possible?
Makes no sense.
Yeah. In the sense that he knows he is never going to be president and won't have to live up to those expectations.
Oh, exactly. Come on. You don't dash my dreams of a fucking 100-story White House, Matt.
I'm just saying.
You're thinking small. He's going on Mount Rushmore.
He's like,
the only thing Donald Trump is doing is saying, I have enough money to do this. I'm not going to get elected, so I don't have to play by their political rules. So I'm going to use my money to go on national television and tell everybody what I think of them and what everybody else is thinking that can't get in the position to say it without having to go by the politics of everything, which I think is great. He's picking a lot of scabs. He's bringing a lot of stuff to the surface, but he's also using it because he is Donald Trump and he does say some crazy shit.
Matt, you're fired.
Sorry. Sorry for bringing logic and reasoning to the group.
Matt, would you vote for Donald Trump?
No, of course not. He doesn't know how to run a country.
All right.
He knows how to run the Apprentice.
I do think he is a great global businessman, but, there's other factors. Donald Trump wouldn't get anything accomplished. Like, nobody would back him.
What president really does get anything accomplished?
There isn't Donald Trump is under the assumption, well, he's not really, like I said, he's just doing it for the hell of it. But it's not like he can just go in there and like, okay, I'm the president, so we do what I say. That's not the way the government works. So it doesn't really matter what he's saying.
Checks and balances.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't think the big dogs would let a guy like that play. It's too much of a loose cannon. It just doesn't make much sense.
The Bilderberger group is going to stop that shit.
But somebody running for the Republican Party can't get away with saying Hillary Clinton's a dumb bitch. Donald Trump can.
But, okay, how come he hasn't said it, though? Like, he's, like, throwing soft punches at her when he's calling all the other women bimbos and shit. But he's barely saying anything about her except political-wise. Why is that?
Who knows? He may be in business with her for all.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But it's still a moot point because he's not actually running for president.
Exactly my point. I think that he was sitting there by the Clintons to screw up the Republican campaign.
No, okay, here we go. Conspiracy bullshit.
I believe it.
That's what I was waiting for. Yeah, fucking Donald Trump's a plant by the Clintons.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
I think he is. He donated to their campaign when Hillary ran against Obama.
So what?
He's been friends with them
Politicians
for years.
change political parties all the time.
I don't think that he seriously thinks he's going to be president.
No, but he's not a plant for the Democrats.
I don't know.
I just want to see 100-story White House, Trump White House.
With a drive-through.
I fucking so want to see that. Listen, yes. Do I think fucking Donald Trump is bringing a lot of things to the surface that make a lot of sense and that we should debate? Absolutely. Do I think he's wrong about immigration? I think the idea of what he wants to do is wrong, but I don't think he's wrong. People who are here illegally should not be here illegally. People should be coming in here legally and through the system. And
through any country,
yeah, in any capacity.
Yeah.
So my thing with Trump is he's a fucking riot, and I seriously would, at this point, with the way the political climate has been in this country, I would love to see him fucking get elected. And here's why: because it's fucking just desserts for fucking everybody who votes for him. Because white bread America will fucking elect him if in fact he gets elected, or if in fact he makes it to the next step. It'll be fucking dumbass white bread Americans who fucking do it.
If he captures D's nuts votes.
Oh man, if only he could catch D's nuts. Right in his face.
D's nuts, 2016.
You know, letting women pull his hair. Oh God, what a spectacle.
That was sexy, wasn't it?
It was fucking great.
Yeah.
Everything about what he does on TV is it's entertaining.
That's what he is. He's an entertainer.
Yeah, and that's all he's fucking doing.
Like, Jesse and Arnold both pulled it off.
Yeah.
Not on the presidential level, but they pulled it off.
Oh, fucking
Maybe
Arnold
he
wanted to.
Make a great president.
He very well could be. He may not be. We're not going to find out for another year what the hell is going to really be going on. You know, where it's going to be. Like, it could change. Look at what happened with fucking Howard Dean. He fucking starts going, wah!
But I do think it's a situation like whenever Michael Jordan played baseball. He played baseball because he could.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
He sucked at baseball, but everybody watched Michael Jordan play baseball.
Because it was Michael Jordan.
You know, and Donald Trump's got the money. He's like, oh, I want to do this. And now everybody's paying attention. So they're actually paying attention to what the other candidates are doing too. So I think it's overall a good thing.
It has brought a lot of attention to politics, which I think is a good thing.
It's the modern day version of Rock the Vote campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump the Vote.
Except more of the Republican version of Rock the Vote, but yeah.
But I mean, you know, I like I said, I don't disagree with a lot of the stuff that he says. You know, I think that some of his statements about immigration, you know, like people coming here and having babies just to stay in the country, that stuff does happen. And it also happens and it has happened in the past, where people have come here, had children, and then left.
Yeah, I know a guy it happened to. I know a guy who was locked up for being an illegal alien, who was, you know, born here. His parents left, and he never got his citizenship. And he was like a local business owner and like contributing to society. I mean, granted, he was a tattoo artist and snorting coke off some of his clients, but he was legit on paper, other than his citizenship. And he got locked up for a long time. It was like a year. And eventually he goes before the judge, and they let him stay because he had a family here.
Well, and then you have people like Bruce Lee, whose parents, you know, he was born here. They went home. He came back eventually.
Right.
You know,
there's a lot of Chinese mothers who will come at the end of their pregnancy just to have their babies in the United States, so their children will have dual citizenship and they can go to college here and, you know, get a free education.
Right, which is exploiting the system.
Exactly.
The system is flawed.
But then you turn around, and when you say that, those people, or that, well, I don't want to say those people because that's kind of fucking seems racist.
What you mean those people?
What do you mean those people? Then you get those, you know, the Asians or the Hispanics who say, you know, well, that you're just being racist against Hispanics or Asians. No, I'm not. I'm looking at the situation. And yes, this shit happens. And it happens quite a bit.
I of all people, should be someone who you definitely wouldn't say that to, since my husband is an immigrant.
Yeah.
and a lot of his family actually is illegal. So I know the ins and outs of this game. And being in the family of that, I still don't agree with people crossing the border illegally. I feel for them and I understand why they do it, but at the same time, I know that things have got to change and our economy can't afford to take care of these people.
I mean, I don't think it's a drain on the entire system. I really don't. Because
some are.
Some of them absolutely are. But
the anchor baby situation, I have my sister-in-law came to the United States illegally, and she got pregnant, and guess what? She's on welfare, she's getting food stamps, she's getting free medical care, she's illegal, and all because she is pregnant with a baby that's going to be considered an American citizen.
Yeah. And
that's what I'm talking about.
And those are the things that need to change. So in that aspect, I don't think that the debate that's gone on or that has been going on because of what Trump said is wrong. I think this debate needs to happen because our borders are far too, and I'm not saying they're far too open, but they're far too lenient right now when it comes to this shit.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't happen anywhere else in the world.
Exactly. There's some countries you'd get fucking
on this
shot.
Level. Right.
Yeah.
They don't fuck around.
Yeah.
They just shoot you.
Yeah.
They don't care if you're pregnant.
Canada, not quite like that, but yeah.
There are places like that. There are places that are that extreme, and now and there are other places that are like us, and there are there are places where if you move there, you've got to fucking go through so many goddamn loopholes and jump through fucking hoops to. It's crazy, but I don't.
Such a double-edged sword.
I don't know what the answer is.
Right, and if you put yourself in the position that a lot of them are in, where you're talking about like, I need a better chance at survival, or I want my kid to grow up and actually stand a fighting chance, and I live in an area that's ran by a drug cartel where you can't step out of the house at night, I would probably go for it too.
I empathize with them, but at the same time, it's like there has to be some type of regulation of this.
I am torn on it because as an American, I don't want to see Americans lose jobs and our economy to be affected by illegal immigrants taking jobs. But at the same time, being on the other side of the fence, I also know why a lot of them come here. And the reason they come illegally is because if you're from a third world country and you apply for a visa to come to the United States, you're going to wait anywhere from 5 to 20 years before you even hear back. And most of the time, the answer is no. So do you have 20 years to wait to see if your family is going to be fed, or are you just going to take that chance?
Right, and that's the part of the system that needs to be fixed, too.
Yes, I agree.
That idea of those people waiting that long for citizenship is kind of ridiculous. Like we live in we live in a fast food nation at this point. Everything's fucking, self-serve. Fucking, it's right on your, you want to watch this TV show? Boom, it's there now. You want to watch fucking a TV show from 10 years ago? Boom, it's there now. We're in the fucking on-demand, it's here now, lifestyle. And for someone to have to wait that long for citizenship is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty
but
crazy.
It's called, we should be working with those governments to improve the way of life there and get the corruption out of the government.
And that shit should be happening
instead of going and like bombing a Middle Eastern country because they have oil under the ground.
Well, you know how things go, Matt. We need that oil.
I mean, because those situations do suck. Just like it sucks for a kid born in Ethiopia out in the middle, the savannah. Like, sucks for them, sorry, but they can't just cross an imaginary line and be taken care of.
I think that a lot of the jobs, there are some jobs that I think that are taken that should go for Americans, but there's also a lot of jobs that we need migrant workers for, like working in the farm and things that, just to be plain honest, a lot of Americans just won't do.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
No shitting in the cilantro.
That's right. Listen, we have fucking running water and plumbing here. You can take a shit in a bathroom.
It's okay.
You can wipe your ass even. We don't have bidets, though.
Oh.
For some reason, we're not caught up with Europe. We don't squirt.
You gotta have a
we don't
French
squirt
toilet.
water on our asshole. Hey, I've used a bidet, Matt. It's wonderful.
They are nice.
Well, okay, how do you dry your butthole?
With toilet paper?
But yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
A towel?
Yeah, I'm not wiping my ass with a towel.
Why should you just use toilet paper? What the fuck?
Because nobody's ever gotten toilet paper wet before. It just like crumbles and rips and tears.
That's why you don't buy cheap ass toilet paper.
Damn it, Cecil! You use the bidet towel for the. Yeah, oh man, yeah. I told you not to use those bidet towels for the face cloth.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be gross.
Yeah.
That would be a.
How did you use
I don't
the brown and white one?
I was so poor as a kid. We used to have to cut up our shirts on occasion to wipe our asses. So I mean, like, we couldn't afford toilet paper or any of that stuff.
But you can afford new shirts?
No. They would be like old shirts that no longer fit, that, the buttons are all wrecked up. And you know what? On occasion, my mom's boyfriend would make us, cut up, one of our favorite shirts. And I think that was some sort of psychological thing.
Fucking Hulk shirt.
Yeah. You got to use that. Wipe your ass with a shirt.
You guys all know you've all at one time used a spare sock.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Come on.
To wipe my ass.
No.
Maybe to wipe my dick.
Both. Who hasn't? Oh, God. But anyway, I think we've taken this thing off the rails far enough. I do think there needs to be an open debate about this shit, and I think that people need to talk more about it and figure it the fuck out. Because, hey, if a fucking ship lands and we have to deal with real aliens, it's not going to be any fun.
It could be if Trump's in charge.
I'll just give him a sock.
Here, wipe your ass with this.
Welcome to Earth.
Please, don't shit in our cilantro. We don't know what your shit contains. This has been the Fortean Slip Midnight Rendezvous. I am the Midnight Rider. I got one more silver dollar, people. I have no fucking idea what episode this is. I've been all fucked up. I've been not even home lately. So, if you like this shit, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Check out Dred Funn at dredfunn.com and youtube.com/Dred Funn. And check out bigfootcrossroads.com. And Freaky Florida. I don't know what your YouTube channel is, Skyla.
Simply Skyla.
There you go.
Boom.